Because YouTube doesn't like.
Yeah, Caitlin's checking too.
Oh, if she is okay, let us know if you find anything. You want to send an invite whenever, and then we'll start talking about. I'll give you my rundown.
Alright. I'll give you mine as well. I'll send you. You want to go first?
I can, yeah. I'm waiting to find out if we're live or not yet first. Does it say live, sweetie?
Because there's some things I do need to say about this movie. Oh, you're
Oh
live
yeah,
now.
I'm live. Perfect. All right.
It does say you have a straight first podcast coming up in 70-something minutes.
Yep. I just set one up.
Okay.
So I wanted to make sure people knew. Yep. All right. So we are live. So guys, you know, it's another episode of a DC podcast. We do have some very exciting news to talk about today, but I wanted to start today's podcast with me and Trevor are going to talk about the most recent DC thing that happened. Well, I guess there's several most recent things that happened with DC, but the thing we would like to start with is talking. Hey, Jake, is talking about the fact that we've both seen Joker 2, and we'll be giving a full spoiler review reaction. Now, I'll go over my pros first, and then I'm going to get into the nitty gritty. Are you ready for that, Trevor?
Yes.
Hey, Melissa. So basically, when you really look at it, pros for me. The visuals, very good. I think it looks like a nice, pretty movie if you're just looking at like how visually it looks.
Okay, I'm leaving then. I haven't seen it yet.
Are you going to see it, Jake? Well, we don't have to do full spoilers. We can keep it vague. But you just know that we're very upset about this movie. All right. So then we have 5 people watching. All right. So then we move forward, like I said. So pros. Another thing I'm going to say is the best word to describe this movie. Madam Web is a pile of trash in terms of still being the worst movie of the year. But with this movie to me, even with the trailers, even with all the people saying crap about the reviews, I went into this movie that, with what we know of Todd Phillips and everything, the people were just hating, and that, yeah, I'll keep it vague, Jake. We'll talk about things without going into full details. We won't talk about the big thing, even though most people know about the big spoiler at the end of the movie, because it leaked out like a week before. But we won't address it. So we'll keep this non-spoiler for you guys, so you guys don't have to worry about it. We'll just talk about little plot points that bother us. So something I don't understand really is, so I want to still into this with an open mind. But the best word to describe this movie, Trevor, in my opinion, is frustrating and disappointing. Because this movie had a lot of potential going for it. Being a Joker sequel, I know there's a lot of people that say that a Joker sequel, oh, we didn't need a Joker sequel, it didn't need to happen. Be that as it may, yes, you can make the argument Todd Phillips didn't want to make a Joker 2, we didn't need to make a Joker 2, but we got a Joker 2. So we need to talk about what we got, you know? So my only pros are, I liked how nice the visuals looked. I did see it in IMAX on a nice laser projector. Hey, Justin. What's up, Chosen? But, so I will say this. I liked both those sides of it, but when we're getting into the things, another thing I'll say is, like, even though this movie does some things I'm not happy with, overall as an experience, I still think Joaquin Phoenix does a good job playing both Arthur Fleck and Joker in this movie. So that's my last pro I'm going to get into. Are you ready for it to get dicey, Trevor?
Yes.
First con I'm going with. Harvey Dent is an absolute abomination in this movie. The fact that they even... yes, I did dislike it, Justin. Like, it's not as bad as Morbius, Brandon. It's a bad movie. I wouldn't put it on the same tier as Morbius. It still has things that, it's disappointing more than it's bad. Like, it's more of a disappointing movie. And it definitely should have not been made.
Not going to Terrifier 3 after all. Well,
No worries, Jake. So I feel like the best way to put it is like I still think he had a good performance, but first con we got to talk about is
Madam Web is not as bad as Joker 2.
oh really? So you liked Madam Web more than Joker 2? That's an interesting thing. Holy crap! We got 15 people watching. That's awesome.
50. I thought you said 50.
No, 15. That's just not a normal number that we see that many at once. So that's pretty exciting. So.
Not Madam Web though.
Subjective. But
Yeah, it's subjective. So welcome, guys. So then, with that being said, sorry, I just did kick this a little bit. So see, the next con is, and I want to discuss this with you, Trevor. Why even have a DA in this movie and call him Harvey Dent when nothing about him is Harvey Dent? He doesn't flip a coin. There's no hints to Two-Face. What is Todd Phillips doing?
yeah, I was disappointed in Harvey Dent in this movie.
It made no sense. And I was worried too, because when they showed the trailer, I was like, oh, there's Harvey Dent. And I was like, oh my god, that's Harvey Dent? This guy looks like they pulled him from fucking, what's that show? Peaky Blinders, and found the most British, boring piece of trash they could find.
Yeah.
Like that's the best way to describe it. So that's my first con. The next con is, if you guys are going into this movie expecting Lady Gaga to play the next Harley Quinn, you're not getting that in this movie. She is not Harley Quinn. She is Lady Gaga in makeup wearing red. She is not Harley Quinn. Like, that's the other thing I will say. There are other negatives, but the next negative I want to talk about is, in terms of, if you guys have totally been watching the reviews and you've heard people say this movie is a musical, they are not lying. Now, the musical numbers
Because the
aren't.
podcast is at 9:30 and the screening's at 10:00 hour, Cena not gonna miss the podcast.
Sounds good. No worries, my friend.
Complete the opposite of Joker 1.
Yes, and we're gonna get into that in a minute, Brandon. There's more to say.
In not watching this.
Yeah. So then when you continue forward, you get, so with these musical numbers, one of the worst things I think is, look, I understand